Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, I have already shown you how to design this form. Here you can see this, how to design this all stuff, how these scroll bars are here. So if you have not watched my previous video, then just go to description. I have put the link of my previous video. Just watch that first and after that you can continue with this one. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to fill data and how these buttons will work. Okay, so without wasting time, let's start with that. Okay, let me just close this first. Okay, so first what we need is we want that this data needs to be filled with the data which is view book. Okay, so in the database we have this. Let me just execute this one. Okay, so let me just change this one actually, library, and after that let me just execute this. And here you can see this, we have these data into our database. Okay, so database table name is new book. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so first thing what we need is we want this data to be filled. Let me just change the name of this data grid view first. So okay, let me just leave it. So for that what we need to do is we need to generate a load event of this form. So for that just double click on this form, and here you can see this view book load event is generated. And here what we need to do is first we need to actually make a SQL connection. For that SQL connection, and here you can see this small pop-up is here. Just click on this. Here you can see this one line is added here. You can manually write it or you can do the same way I have done. Okay, so you can see this. After that create an object of that. So con equals new SQL connection, and after this you have to pass a connection string, that is connection string, and this you have to write the data source, and you have to pass the data source from here. Go to your this one, and here you have to just copy this line, server name, just cancel this, and let me just move back here and just paste this, add one more slash here, otherwise it will show error. After that database name, so I have already told you that my database name is library, and after that type integrated security equals true. Okay, so after this line you have to write one small stuff, that is nothing but SQL command cmd equals new SQL command. After this we have to pass the connection object to this command. Here we go now. Okay, after that we have to pass the command text. So what actually we need from the database is all the records of from this new book. So I'm going to write select star from, my table name is new book. Okay, after this what we need to do is we need to store this data which is retrieving. We are retrieving the data from the database. We need to store that into something which is nothing but data set. Okay, so for that we have to first create a SQL data adapter. Okay, and after that you have to write this DA equals new SQL. You have to write this SQL data adapter, and within this you have to pass the command, that is cmd, and just close this. After that we need to create an object for the data set ds equals new data set, and just fill this data set with like this da, that is SQL data adapter dot fill what ds, like this. Okay, so let me just start this, and when you see here, okay, so nothing is here because now we have the data into this data set, but we have not assigned that data to this data grid view. So how to assign that? For that you have to just write this data grid view 1. This is the design name of this data grid view. Let me just show you. Here you can see this data grid view 1. So data grid view 1 dot data source equals the object of data set, that is ds dot tables, and in this you have to pass 0 and just save this and execute. And when I click here, you can see this. Now we have this data here. So now what we want is, initially we don't want this form needs to be visible. So for that we have to write one more small stuff. So that's not an issue. At last I'm going to show that. Okay. So let me just close this. Okay, let me just actually hide that stuff. So for that, let me just take the name of that panel. So this is the panel and this panel name is 2. So panel 2 dot visible equals false. So you can see this. So now when I start this, here you can see this, there is no scroll bar and nothing is down here. Okay, so now what I want is when I click on this row, this form needs to be hidden. Sorry, visible. The panel needs to be visible. So let's start with that. So now what we want is, we want actually data grid view cell click event. So for that, let me just go to this data grid view, just right click and go to properties and this search for event cell click event. Here you can see this one is, just double click on this and it will generate a cell click event. In this you have to actually check that which row is being clicked. For that, how to check that, we have to write this if data grid view 1 dot rows, okay, like this, R needs to be in capital letter. After that we have to write E dot rows row index. This E is nothing but from here you can see this. Okay, so after this we have to write dot cells, and in the cell we need to E dot column index and dot value is not equals null. Okay, so first thing we are checking this, and after this let me take a message box dot show. So actually I want to show which cell is being clicked. So for that I'm going to write this like, okay, so parse, because we are going to take the user, actually let me just show you. So here we have this n number of rows and I want actually the book ID. So book ID is nothing but in the int format. So for that I'm going to parse this. Okay, int dot parse to, and this you have to write this one like data grid view 1 dot rows E dot row index and dot cells dot rows cells, and in this cell what we need is 0, that is the first one, and the value dot to string like this. Okay, so it's showing a little bit of error. Let me just resolve this quickly. For now let me remove this parse. We have to do this later. Okay, so not to worry. So here you can see this, now the error is resolved, and let me just start this, and here you can see this, when I click on this cell, here you can see this is 2, this is nothing but BID. Okay, so let me just click on this. Here you can see this, we have 5. Anywhere you can click, we get this one. Why? Because we have set here that cell, which cell value we need is 0th column. Okay, so we need this value and we are converting this to string. Here you can see this in this way. So now we need this into a variable. So let me just take a global variable. So int bid, I will show you why I'm taking this. So int bid, now we have this bid. So bid equals, and here we need to do nothing but int dot parse, and in this parse we have to pass this stuff. Let me just copy this and paste this here. Just comment this one. Okay, so I will show you where I'm going to use this bid. Okay, so after this, what I want is when I click on that cell, first thing, now we have this ID, book ID. After that, what we need to do is the panel down here. This panel needs to be visible. For that, we have to write panel 2 dot visible equals true. Okay. So now let me just start this and show you quickly. Here you can see this. Now when I click on this, now panel is visible. Let me just close this and start this. Here you can see this, nothing is here, no scroll bar, nothing. When I click on this, suddenly you can see this scroll bar is here, and now this panel is also. So till here the task is done. After this, what we want is we need to create a database connection. For that, I have already shown you how to design this. So let me just copy this stuff and paste it here once again and make a little bit change. So here what I need is select start from new book where BID. This BID is the actually primary key column name. Here you can see this. In this table, BID is nothing but primary key. Here you can see this. When we click on the cell, this value is being extracted. Okay. So let me just show you where BID is equals. So we are concatenating this value. So here we have a local variable, and now we have the value into this BID. So let me just add here BID. Okay. So whenever we click on this, the data matching from this BID will be stored into this data set. Let me just show you. Int equals 5, and let me just add a breakpoint here, and let me just start this. I'm going to click on this, and here you can see this. Inside this we have only the data for which we have clicked. Okay, so on 5 I have clicked all the data, only of 5 is here. So now we have the data. Now what we have to do is we have to assign these data into these values. For that, first let me just change the name of this text boxes. So we go to properties, and in this just change the design name. So let me just change this design name to txt name, and this one to txt author, this one to txt publication, let me just remove this with the text box. Okay, let me just copy one text box from here and paste it. Let me just change this one to txt vdate, like this. And after that, this one to txt price, this one to txt quantity. Now we have changed the name of these text box. Now what we need to do is we need to assign these values. Let me just remove this. Now we have the data into this data set. Now we have to assign the values to that text boxes. So how to do that? For that we have to actually do small stuff, that is txt bname dot text equals from this data set ts dot tables. We have table, and in this table we have rows, and we have from the 0th row, that is, and which column we need to select, the first one, and we want to convert this to string. Okay, so how this is working, let me just explain you quickly. In this data set we have one table, that is 0th table, and in this table we have rows and columns. So this is row and this is the index of the row, that is 0th row. We have only one row. So here you know that we in this we start with the 0th. So 0th row and the one column. First column, because if we write here 0, then we will assign the value of this BID, that is the primary key value will be assigned to this text box name. So let me just start this and see this if it's working or not. Okay, so when I click on this, here you can see this book name is Oops Now. When I click on Java, here you can see this change. PHP, it's being changed. Okay, so this is 0th column, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this is 6. If we write 0, then this 1 will be assigned, this 2 will be assigned when I click on this row. Okay, let me just cut this. And in the same way we have to do for the rest. So let me just copy this stuff and txt book author dot text equals, and just paste this txt, and after this we have publication dot text txt date, purchase date actually, date dot text equals txt. What we have next is price dot text equals txt quantity dot text equals this one. So we have to actually change this small stuff here. Here you can see this. We have 1 1 1 1 in each of this stuff. So we have to change this to this one to 3 because it's third column. This one to 4. This one to 5. This one to 6. Just save this and just start this. And when I click on this, here you can see this data structure JP Singh Kumar, R&D, Monday. Here you can see this, everything is here, and P price is 5,000, quantity is 45. Here you can see this. And when I click on something else, all the data is changed now. So till here, it's a start with working. So now what I want is this button needs to be also work. So first thing what I want is I want this cancel needs to be work. So how this will work? So let me just close this. And let me just go and change the name of these buttons as well. So btn4, let me just change this to btn cancel, and change this one to btn delete, and change this one to btn update. Now double click on this to generate a click event. Just double click on this, and what I want is when I click on cancel, the form needs to be hidden, the downward panel. So let me just write this panel 2 dot visible equals false. That's it. You have to do this stuff, nothing more. So here you can see this. When I click on this, data is here. When I click on this, here you can see this. All the stuff has been removed. You can see this. Okay, so it's working now. Now what we need to do is we need to update the query. So okay, so before updation, here you can observe one small stuff, that is we have a text button. Okay, sorry, text box. So let me just change this name text box to txt book name. Okay, hit enter, and what we need to do is we need to actually go to event and we need text change event. So just double click on this and text change event is now generated, and here we have to do small stuff, that is if textbook dot name dot text, first we are going to check that if it's not equal to empty, then we need to execute this query. Okay, and in the else condition, what I want is when this text box is empty, we directly want to assign all the values from the database. Okay, so let me just copy this stuff from here. You can see this. actually copied this much stuff. You can see this. So just paste this here. So if this is empty, then we want the original value when this form loads, that value. Okay. And if it's not empty, what we have to do is we have to actually make small change here in this query. So select the star from new book where B name. This B name is nothing but the column name of this. Here you can see this. This is the book name, column name. Sorry, in the table. Okay. So you have to write that in the same. You have to make sure that if you have mentioned this and in the capital, then you also write here in capital. Okay. So you can see this. And in this B name, what we have to match is B name, like you have to use this operator. After that, concatenate with this. So plus txt book name, that is the text box name, dot text, and just add plus. And after this, we have to write this percent %d. Okay, sorry, it's percent only. Means that you have to actually, after this first letter, anything will be searched. Okay, so like this. Here you can see this. Now it's right. It's not showing any error. Let me just start this and let me just show you quickly. So view book, and here. Okay, so it's generated an error exception. Okay, so not an issue. Let me just start this. Okay, so when I write O, here you can see this. Only one row is there, and when I clear this, everything is clear. Okay, so let me just close this. So now it's working. So you can see this. Now our text box is also working. So now we have to code for refresh button. Here you can see this. We have one refresh button as well. So here you can see this. When I click on what I want is when I click on this refresh button, all the data. Let me just show you. What I want is when I click on this refresh button, this panel needs to be hidden and all the data from this text box needs to be clear. So that is just, you have to code a little smarter way. So just change this name to btn refresh. Hit enter. Double click on this to generate a click event. Here we have this. So first thing what I want is to clear the text box, search box. So dot clear, and what I want is panel2 dot visible equals false. These two small stuff I want. Here you can see this. When I start this, and here you can see this, let me just search something like oops, and when I click on this, here we have this. When I click on this, the data, the form is in now initial position. Here you can see this. So it's working now. So we have to code for actually update and delete as well. So how to do that? So let me just show you. For that, first we need to generate a click event for the update button. Just double click on that to generate a click event. Here we have. So now we have to take out the value from each text box. So the string b name equals the variable name, and text box actually b name. Here you can see this dot text. So this is the txt b name is the text box name of this one, and from this text box what we need is we need only text. So in the same way we have to take the value from other text box also. So book author dot txt author dot text. After that we have string publication and txt publication dot text. After that we have string bdate equals to txt bdate dot text. And after that we will observe one small stuff, that is book price and book quantity is an integer format. Okay, so for that we have to convert that into int. So int 64, let me just take this. price equals int64 dot parse. You have to convert the string into integer. So txt price dot text like this, and in the same way you have to do for quantity. Quantity dot text. Okay, so now we have this stuff here. After that we have to make a SQL database connection. For that I have already shown you how to make this. Just copy this stuff and paste this here. Okay, so here we have to change this query. We need to actually execute what is that is update query. So how to execute that? So update new book, that is table name. So I'm writing this N capital and B capital because my table name is in this format. So you have to make sure that you write in the same character sequence. Okay, so update new book, and what I want to do is set what is that B name equals, and this is a string, so I have to concatenate it like this, and I have B name. This is the variable name. Here you can see this, and this B name is actually the column name in my table, so you have to follow this. Okay, so make sure you write in the same order. And after this, what we have is book author. So B author, and within this you have to write B author, and after this you have to write, we have the publication actually. Let me just show you. You can see this B publication, and after that B date, all these stuff are here. So in B publication we have to write like this. Okay, so let me just copy this stuff a little bit, and within this publication we have to write publication, the variable name. Here you can see this. After this we have purchase date, B date, and we have to paste this, and here what we have is P date, and now till this P date is done. So after this P date, what we have is price, quantity. Okay, so price is an integer format, so we have to follow that. So price is actually B price equals, and you have to just put double quotes, not that single one. Here you can see this. In the string we have one single more quotes, but in this integer format we have only double quotes, not the single one. Okay, so within this we have the price, or just say price. This is the actually variable name. So the same we have to do for the quantity. So P QUAN, and within this you have to write this quantity. Okay. So now if you think this query is completed, then you are wrong. Why? Because when you start this and when you click on this, and when you click, if I click on this, all these rows value will be updated with this, because we have not used where clause. Here you can see this. So update new book set, this will set each row with the same value which is in the text box. So how to restrict that? I want only, what I want is, okay, so when I click on this, what I want is I want to only update this row, not other row. So how to do that? So for that, let me just show you. We have to move little bit upward. That is nothing but here, cell click. Here you can see this. Okay, so we have to move here. So here we have to actually take this int 64 and row ID. I want to take this row ID. Okay, so let me just take this value. Here I have taken a variable row ID, and here let me just type row ID, and in this we have to write int 64 dot parse, and within this we have to actually write this one. Let me just copy this stuff and paste it here, and we have to change this one to 0. Okay, so let me show you what actually is I'm going to do it here. Just start this. When I click on this, here you can see this. Now row ID is 4. Okay, so let me just show you this data set. So just click on this. Here you can see this. P array is 4, and this P array is now in this row ID. Okay, so let me just stop this, and let me just, this is a global variable, so I can use this here also. So I'm going to use it here. Okay, so how to use this? Let me just show you quickly. So you have to write here where PID, that is the ID primary key, is what the PID is stored in row ID. Here you can see this. Now when I update that, only that particular row will be affected. So let me just show you. Here you can see this. This PHP is in small letters, so let me just make this one capital like this. And when I click on update and close this and load this once again, here you can see this PHP in capital letter. So now this is working. So now what I want is, before updation, I want the user confirmation that yes, you want to update or not. So how to do that? For that you have to actually write one more line of code. So how to do that? For that, here you have to write this if condition message box dot show, and in this you have to ask user data will be affected, okay, updated, and ask for user confirm, and this message box name will be success, and message box button dot ok or cancel, and icon message box icon needs to be question like this, and after this equals dialog result dot ok. If this will be clicked ok, here you can see this. So what we have done is we have set a if condition, and when button update will be clicked, this message box will be shown, and it will ask that do you want to confirm, and there will be two buttons, that is OK and cancel. If here we are going to check that if button dialog dot result, if that OK will be clicked, then this updation is performed. If cancel is clicked, then nothing will done. So let me start this and show you quickly. So here you can see this. When I click on this, you can see this data will be updated, confirm, so cancel, so nothing will happen. Let me just close this and start this once again. Here you can see this, no data is updated. Okay, so how to update that? Here you can see this book count is 2 4, so I'm going to add few zeros. Let me just update this and close this. Here you can see this. Okay, so let me just make it back, so update and cancel, and here you will observe that nothing happened to this data. And when you remove these zeros and update and click OK, now the data will be updated. You can see this. Now we have 24 now. Okay. So now our task is done here. So now what I want is I want to actually um, delete. We have to do for this delete button. So how to do that? Just double click on this to generate a click event, and we have to copy this all stuff from here. Just copy this and paste this here. You have to remove this stuff. Okay, and you have to actually remove this query as well. And you have to write one small query that is nothing but delete from new book where PID equals plus, and this PID is stored in row ID, that is a global variable I have declared on the cell click event. I am extracting this value and I am using it here. Now here we want this confirmation little bit to change. Data will be, let me just delete it, confirm, confirmation dialog, and I want this to be warning. Okay, so now let me just start this, and here you can see this. When I click on this and when I click delete, data will be deleted. Confirm. Here you can see the logo is changed. Here you can see that this is question mark and this is warning. So let me just cancel. I'm canceling it. Nothing will be deleted. Here you can see this. We have these 4 records. Let me just add one more record quickly. So book name asp.net and book author asp xyz, publication xyz, publication, purchase date needs to be to date, and price will be 855, and book quantity needs to be 152, and just save. Data saved, cancel. Okay, so now let me just, here you can see this sec number is added. I want to delete this record. Let me just click on this delete and click on OK and just cut and just open this. Here you can see this. Now this record has been deleted. So for the today's video, that's it for the today's video, guys. In the next video I'm going to show you how to design for this student add student. Okay, so let me just show you quickly. So this is actually complete project, and here we have so in the next video I'm going to show you how to design this. Okay, so till then just stay tuned and just subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please hit the like button and share with your friends. Thanks for watching.